Jesus is in the first 5 books in the Bible. In fact, he said, I'm here to fulfill the law. So that means he's talking about fulfilling the first 5 books of the Bible.
Okay, so let's stop there for a second. You are saying that Jesus is in all 5 books, the first 5 books of the Bible, the Torah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Dude, let's get into this.
Moses said, well, actually, God said to Moses, and he said to the people, God will raise up a prophet like me from among the people. So that means he's going to come from the people of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to listen to him. Every soul that does not listen to this prophet will be removed from the people. That is quoted in Acts because it's talking about Jesus. And when you read, when Jesus said to the disciples, like, who do people say that I am? And they said, some say Elijah and some say the prophet. That's the prophet they're talking about.
Okay.
He's the ultimate prophet. And then he says, who do you say that I am? He said, you're the Christ, the Son of the living God. That's the prophet he's talking about. And Moses, you got to read between the lines here. Or not read between the lines, a dangerous statement. Read what he's saying here. When he says he's going to raise up a prophet from among the people who's like me, and you need to listen to him, and anyone that doesn't listen to him will be removed from the people. One of the things that he's saying or implying there is that his message is more important than mine. So Moses is saying someone's going to come along down the track whose message is greater than mine and of greater importance, and the consequences and reward of listening or not listening to him is the greatest.
Yeah.
So that's kind of parroting the beginning of the book of Hebrews, where it says in the past, God has spoken at many times and in many ways through the forefathers and the prophets, but now he speaks to us through a son. And then later on, it goes on to say that Moses, who gave the law, who warned on earth or from the earth, he's an earthly man, when he warned from earth, he says that every transgression had its proper consequence, right? And then it says, how much more than if we ignore him who warns from heaven? That's Jesus. Jesus is the fulfillment of everything spoken in the law. So we see him there all through. His character is perfect. He didn't break the law in any way. He's actually the fulfillment of the law. I read the book of Leviticus years and years ago. I was actually doing a assignment on Old Testament survey. And the assignment was you had to give a single paragraph summary of every book of the Old Testament. So as you'd imagine, us, first year Bible colleges were like, "Whoa,
that's so much."
Yeah. So I skim read the entire Old Testament, which was amazing for me. But I actually read through the book of Leviticus completely rather than skim reading. Even though, like when you skim read, you actually do read every word, but you sort of powering through.
It's like a rapid fire absorption of the material.
Yeah. So I'm flying through, but I actually read through the book of Leviticus.
Like that's the one you stopped and you read. Yeah, that's the one you stopped and you read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of it, I said to the Lord, look, I'll be honest with you, Lord, I'm struggling here. I'm not sure how I can get something out of this. Because it's so laborious in the rules and the things. And I was reading it. It was about, I don't know, a third of the way through or something. And as I'm reading all these laws and really like these kind of rules that were, how does holiness play out in community and justice play out in community in the nation of Israel? And, if someone steals this is what you do. And if this happens, this is how you, this is the fine and how you do recompense. This is perfect justice. And he said to me, this is my character. And I realized that I was actually seeing the holiness of God. Not holiness like a concept that's kind of out there, in the universe, but God's holy and is removed from us, but actually his character, that he is perfectly fair, perfectly just, perfectly holy, and perfectly righteous, perfectly loving. And nothing he does is unjust or unfair or or does the wrong thing. He never does the wrong thing by people. He's perfect. And I saw his beautiful character in it, and this beautiful goodness of God.
I love that.
And I realized that it actually shows his character. Now, when you get to Jesus, who is God, and he's the Word incarnate, he's actually the outliving of a perfect human being.
So he's the echo of, or the exact depiction of those things in Leviticus that you're reading.
In the law,
God's character, yeah.
In fact, without taking too much license, you'd almost put it the other way around. That the law is a shadow of Jesus, but he's actually the perfect representation.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
He just lives it. That's just that. There are shadows of him all through the law, and even the way that it transitions from Deuteronomy to Joshua. I've noticed that every Joshua in the Old Testament is actually a shadow of Christ.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure every Joshua. Now, the word Joshua in Hebrew is Yehoshua. It's God saves all. God, my Yeshua. Right, Jesus. It's actually Jesus, right? So the two ones that I'll look at, point to really quickly, is obviously Joshua of the book of Joshua. Now, Moses represents the law, right? And he is forbidden from taking the people of God into the promised land. Now, in part, that's his own actions where he struck the rock the second time. But then he takes Joshua and he says that Joshua, you're going to lead the people across the Jordan into the promised land, right? Here's the deal. The law can't save you, and it can't make you walk in holiness. It doesn't have the power. It's called the ministry of death. So it can't take you into the promised land. But where the law cannot save you, Joshua or Jesus can take you into the promised land. It's a picture. So we see this ongoing fulfillment of this thing. Now, I've got to thank a friend of mine for this revelation. But when they crossed the Jordan, it says that the waters of the Jordan, it stopped at a city named Adam. Right? Adam, right? We're born into Adam. We're born again into Jesus, right? So that which flowed from Adam, which is our old sinful nature, when we cross into the promised land, when we believe Jesus Christ, the waters that flow from Adam stop so that we can cross into the promised land. What came from our forefather Adam actually stopped, and we get to walk in a place where we're in the promised land, where we get to walk in a new life. We're no longer living dominated by the old nature of sin that came from our forefather Adam. There's these pictures there. Wow. Jesus is this perfect fulfillment.